Hi everyone, we're going to go ahead and get started. I want to say thank you for coming to this session. I know that everyone has busy schedules and I really appreciate your attendance. Today we are going to be doing a pre-departure orientation for Pontificia Universidad Católica de Valparaíso, also commonly known as PUCV. Many of you have already been in communication with me and know who I am. Today I am joined by Carolina Elgueta, International Programs General Coordinator at the International Relations Office at PUCV, and Camila Gonzalez, International Student Advisor and incoming ISEP Coordinator, also at the International Relations Office. During the session, we will be discussing ISEP benefits, student responsibilities and resources, culture and daily life, host family living, campus culture and immersion, academic matters, adapting tips, and we will wrap up with questions and answers. Let's go ahead and get started. If you guys have any questions, there will be, like I mentioned, questions and answers at the end, but you can also type in the chat if you're experiencing a problem or for some reason you cannot hear me. We're going to go ahead and get started with the ISEP benefits. The following benefits are provided for all ISEP Exchange and ISEP Direct program students. Within the benefits is covered tuition. If you have any incurred costs outside of the regular tuition, such as lab fees, gym fees, or studio fees, those would not be covered through your ISEP benefits and you will be financially responsible. Housing. Everyone will be living with host families during the program and will receive 21 meals per week through your families. Orientation is also included in your benefits. I would like to note that ISEP benefits for exchanges are equivalent, not identical. They are based off the norm at your host institution and may be different from housing and meals at your home university. Benefits are based on the local cost of living and is the amount that the outgoing international student has paid for you to take his or her place. Keep in mind that the program fee you pay at your home university is not only allowing you to go abroad, but permitting another ISEP student to study in place of you at your home university. As study abroad students, there are certain responsibilities you should keep in mind during your program. All students should read emails, respond to emails in a timely manner, and complete all requested paperwork. If you encounter problems, issues, concerns, or emergencies during your program, you should report them to your host coordinator. Direct communication is the fastest way to express your concern, and your host coordinator cannot assist you if they don't know something is wrong. After you talk with your host coordinator, you should then inform ISEP, which would be me. I'm the program officer for Chile, and that way I can then inform your home university of whatever situation or issue you are currently experiencing. Don't be afraid to ask for help if you need it. ISEP staff and ISEP coordinators are here for you. The next few items we are going to go over are important student resources you should be aware of. The first is the IIS, or Institutional Information Sheet. You received your IIS when you accepted your placement, and I hope that everyone has been able to read this document, as it is extremely important. I recommend carrying your IIS with you, as it contains important information on program dates, host coordinator contact information, on instructions what to do during an emergency, and what is included in your program. The next resource we're going to be talking about is the Student Handbook. This resource is also important in addition to your IIS. It includes information on things that all study abroad students should be aware of, and tips for making the most out of your experience. It can be found on the ISEP website. Oh, sorry guys, I forgot to slide over to the screen. Moving on, in addition to the student handbook, there is also the country handbook. It provides more specific information on Chile, including culture, daily life, money, the education system, and more. This resource can also be found on the ISEP website. Again, all of the resources we have just discussed are very important. When you signed your PPAF and accepted your placements, you acknowledge that you have read the IAS, the Student Handbook, and the Country Handbook. Hopefully, everyone has now had the chance to review these materials. It is also not a bad idea to do a refresher before your departure. The last resource we are going to cover are the ISEP social media resources. We love to hear about our student experiences and see pictures, especially since we put so much time into preparing you for your program. So if you feel so inclined, please share with us. We can be found on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, or WordPress. We especially like student blogs, and we feature them on our site. So if you do a blog, WordPress website is a really great option. To help orient you before arrival, I want to cover a few cultural norms and information on daily life. Meal times and courses vary from practices here in the U.S. and other places around the world. Chileans start with breakfast, or desayuno, which is usually eaten between 8 and 10 a.m. It usually consists of bread with butter or jam, cheese and yogurt, or cereal. Unlike U.S. practices, lunch is the primary meal of the day. It is usually eaten between 1 and 4 p.m. and has 3 to 4 courses. The meal usually starts with soup, followed by the main course, and sometimes includes a salad, and then usually dessert, which is usually something sweet or fruit with tea and coffee. Since lunch is the main meal, dinner is more like a small dinner or a snack. Similar to breakfast, it includes bread with butter, something like an avocado or a piece of fruit, and then usually it accompanies with tea or coffee. Valparaíso has a very mild Mediterranean climate. It closely resembles that of San Francisco or Santa Barbara. The summer is essentially dry, but the city is affected by fog from the Humboldt Current during most of the year. Winter can be described as cold, and it can be rainy or windy. Snowfall rarely occurs in the highest parts of the city. Keep in mind that since you will be studying and living in the southern hemisphere, the seasons are opposite to those in the U.S. or in the northern hemisphere. This means that their summer is our winter and our winter is their summer. Make sure you pack accordingly. The last bit of information on culture and daily life I want to cover is traffic and road safety. Unlike the U.S., pedestrians do not have the right-of-way in most Latin American countries. Don't expect vehicles to stop for you. Make sure you wait until the coast is clear. The primary cause of fatalities and serious injuries to travelers under the age of 35 is road traffic accidents. Be sure to familiarize yourself with traffic rules and road safety issues in not only Chile, but in other countries where you may be traveling as well. More information on Chilean daily life and culture will be covered on the first day of your on-site orientation. As I mentioned before, everyone will be living with host families, which is an excellent way to be immersed in Chilean culture. While living with a host family, please be respectful of the rules of their house. Most families are accustomed to having international students living in their homes and will let you come and go as you wish. It is respectful to inform them if you are going to be missing a meal or be away for more than a day. Remember to keep your room clean and tidy. You may also want to consider bringing a small gift representing your home country or culture upon arrival, as it's considered a warm and friendly gesture. When I studied abroad in both Ecuador and Argentina, I brought items that were from my state of Ohio, so the Buckeye candies or something Ohio State, and they really enjoyed that and welcomed me into their home. So I definitely, again, recommend bringing a small gift. Campus culture and immersion into the university and culture will be an important aspect of your experience. To help with your immersion process, PUCV works with 6 volunteer organizations within the Valparaíso region. Every semester, the university holds a volunteer job fair in which the international students can speak with representatives from the volunteer organizations and obtain more information. You can do a variety of activities, including, but not limited to, helping the homeless, working with children, and helping animals. You can visit the Volunteer in Valparaíso page for more information. This is found on the PUCV membership directory page underneath the Campus Life tab. That's the 3rd tab over. Additionally, during orientation, you will be assigned a PUCV monitor, who is a current student that will serve as your mentor and will be able to help answer any questions you have about the university, the city, or the culture. They will also be showing you around the campus and around the different buildings. Again, your host families are a great way to be immersed in culture. Make sure you make an effort to talk with them on a daily basis and get to know them. This will be great for your Spanish as well as gaining a better understanding of their culture. Relationships with host families can be very important. I am still very close with my host family in Ecuador, and it's nice to have a connection that I can still go back and remember all of the great experiences I had and check in with them and see how they are doing. The cafeteria, or cafeta, as it's known as on campus, is another chance to meet local students. Your monitor will show you where it is located. For those of you that will be taking regular university courses, this is a great way to interact with local students, so don't be afraid to talk with them and try and make friends. Lastly, in March, PUCV will offer a list of extra academic activities, such as sports or workshops, which is another chance to interact with local students. A recently returned student has some information to share with all of you. He says, next door to Casa Central, where nearly all of the classes are, is a building called Gimper. On the top floor is a cafeteria. The Chilean friends I ended up hanging out with a lot always ate up there, and they mentioned, I wish that intercambio students made an effort to get to know us better. In Latin America, remind them that eating together is a big cultural thing, and to go out on a whim and meet Chileans early on. They could always start there. Also, I ended up playing in a band with other exchange students and some Chileans. I'm so glad I brought my instrument, and if they're interested in playing music, I would recommend that they bring theirs too. PUCV consists of a few different campuses, but most ISEP students study in the buildings located in the center of Valparaíso. The International Programs Office is also located in downtown Valparaíso. PUCV has a few different options for international students. Some of you will be taking regular courses where you will take your classes alongside local Chilean students. Again, a great way to meet locals. Regular courses are offered on both exchange and direct. For students studying on direct, PUCV has flexible and diverse academic options. Instead of programs, PUCV offers sets of courses. As long as you meet the minimum academic and language requirements, you can take courses from any sets of courses. The sets are courses taught in Spanish exclusively for international students, which range from Latin American studies courses to Chilean history and culture courses. Courses taught in English exclusively for international students, which offers Latin American and Chilean courses as well as political science courses. The last set of courses is Spanish language and culture. These courses are offered for beginner to advanced language learners and offer courses to strengthen Spanish capabilities such as grammar, reading, writing, and pronunciation. I would like to note that PUCV ultimately determines your language level. Some advice from a recently returned student who studied at PUCV says, don't underestimate the workload at PUCV, and be sure to put your academic life before your social life. The amount of outside work, exams, and assignments depends on the course. Information about the grading of the course and expectations will be covered on the first day of class. If you have any additional information, you can reach out to the professor. If you find yourself struggling in any of your courses, you can talk with the professor and ask for advice, especially the PIIE classes. The course request list you submitted when you applied to your ISEP program is a proposal of the classes that you're hoping to take. As previously mentioned, PUCV ultimately determines your language level. Once you arrive at PUCV, you will take a language test. The first part will be a written portion, and the second part is an interview with a professor. After your language proficiency is determined, they will inform you of which classes would be a good academic fit based on your language skills. You will have time to decide which courses you are going to take before registration, and then we'll have 3 weeks to visit the classes and make sure that you are engaged and interested in these courses before you have to make your final decision and set your schedule. Since final registration takes place after arrival, if you end up registering for any courses that are different from what you initially listed prior to departure, contact your academic advisor or your ISEP coordinator that was helping you determine which classes you were going to be taking at your home university, and let them know, as it could affect how your credits transfer back if you had to get your credits pre-approved before you left. Typical PUCV students are described as independent and normally friendly towards international students. Students from all over Chile go to PUCV to study. Therefore, there is a range of student personalities and backgrounds. For example, a student coming from Valparaíso or Santiago would be normally very outgoing and like to spend time outside of the house, while a student from the south may prefer to stay home with friends instead. The teaching style in Chile differs from what many students in the U.S. are used to. The teaching style is more content-focused, and students are generally expected to learn independently and are treated as such. To adapt and fulfill the academic needs of American students, PIIE has developed courses with a student-centered learning style and offers a wide variety of courses for students to take on direct, which we just discussed. While there's going to be a lot of exciting things to do outside of the classroom, it is important to attend class. Remember, you are there to study. Information on transcript issuance is located in Section 17 of your IIS. Since you are going abroad for SM2, you can expect your transcripts in September. Information on issuance is provided to you ahead of time so that you can plan accordingly for things like financial aid, registration, graduation, or other matters. It can be difficult to get your transcripts expedited as we are working across countries. Finding yourself in a new culture and atmosphere can be overwhelming. Here are a few adapting tips. Try and avoid comparison. Remember, things aren't better or worse, they're just different. And different is why you're studying abroad. Don't be afraid to ask for help. ISEP coordinators and ISEP staff are always available. Be patient with yourself. Speaking another language can be exhausting. Some students experience culture shock. To overcome culture shock, try and make local friends. They can be a really helpful resource and allow you to have a better understanding of the local culture and help better integrate you into the culture. They can also help explain cultural tendencies or norms. Get out of town. Culture shock usually sets in around 3 weeks. A weekend adventure can definitely help. Going for walks is another option. This is a great way to explore your new surroundings and take in little details about the culture. It can also help keep your mind off things that might be bothering you. Keeping a journal of your cultural experiences is another good way to get your thoughts out. You can also revisit them later and see how much you've grown. Do something familiar. Watch a favorite movie. Make your favorite food from back home. Read some local news from your home country. Or talk to friends and family. Be careful not to overdose on things from home too much, as it can be a way of resisting a change. Be open-minded. Try and view things from your newly gained global perspectives. Be open-minded for new ways to do something and try to make an adventure out of every day. While you should always carry a copy of your passport with you, it's also a really good idea to email yourself a copy of your passport so that you also have a digital version in case you lose your copy while you're out. I also recommend always traveling with your passport when you travel outside of Valparaíso. Remember to keep your passport in a safe place when traveling, as it can be very difficult to get a replacement while abroad. Make sure to carry your IIS with you on your flight, as it has important contact information for your host university in case you are delayed, get lost, or arrive on the wrong day. It also has information that you will need to fill out your customs paperwork. I also recommend carrying your IIS with you during your program or writing down your host coordinator's contact information on a separate sheet of paper and carry that with you instead. While the IIS has PUCV's emergency contact information, if you should need to get in touch with ISEP after hours, we do have an emergency phone number that is answered 24/7. Sometimes you do have to leave a message, but somebody will call you back within a few minutes. Dialing from Chile, that number is 011-301-681-2388. The electrical current in Chile is different than other countries, especially the U.S. If you bring appliances such as hair dryers or straighteners, be sure that you bring the proper converter. Outlets in Chile generally accept one type of plug, which is 2 round pins, which is pictured on this slide. If your appliances have a different plug shape, you may need a plug adapter. While I mentioned the blow dryers and the straighteners and the different electrical currents, many of the people that I studied abroad with in Argentina left their more expensive straighteners at home and then bought, cheap straighteners and blow dryers within the country so that they didn't risk ruining their own devices. Because if you do plug it into the converter and it's the wrong electrical current, it can ruin them. This concludes today's session. At this time, Carolina, Camila, and I are now available for any questions that you may have. You can chat your questions to us in the window within the webinar session, or if you have a question and you want to raise your hand, I can unmute you, and then you can go ahead and ask your question.
Hello everyone, I don't know if you hear me.
Can everyone hear Camila? I can hear you.
Oh, that's right. Well, first of all, I'm very glad to be here. Unfortunately, Carolina Elgueta couldn't be here because she had a problem with her daughter, medical problem. So I'm here to answer you all the questions that the students may have. I would like to say that we are very happy that we are receiving a lot of ISEP students, and we hope to keep receiving a lot, and open to every question. But maybe what I would like to remark now that I'm speaking to all of you and you're here with me, is that we sent to you at the end of December, if I'm not making a mistake, a student's guide. And that document have a lot of information regarding your arrival to Santiago and also to Valparaíso. So what I would like to ask you now is that you read that guide, and if you already have read the guide, you can ask me some questions. Just to remark some things, I would like to remind you that the official day of arrival is going to be Sunday 22 of February, and that day we are going to have 2 students, PUCV monitors that we will like to call them, waiting for you. Most of you have sent to me the Plan de Viaje document. There is a document which informs to us the dates and also the hour that you are going to get into the airport. If you have not sent to me the document, it's important that you do it, because currently I have, I think, 6 students that they haven't sent to me. So the importance of this document is that we're going to be aware when are you going to arrive. And if you have any problem, it's important to know that you must communicate anything that may happen to you to our emergency contact, that is Macarena Moya. And the cell phone of Macarena is in the third page of the student guide. I'm going to write it down. Can I write here, Rachel, and they are going to see?
I think if you click on the thing that says Drawing Tools menu, you should be able to write things on the screen.
Let me see.
It looks like a little yellow marker.
The yellow marker. Oh, okay. I'm going to write down the cell phone of Macarena Moya, and she is our emergency contact and if anything happened to you, maybe your flight got delayed, or you have another problem and you're going to arrive maybe Monday, you have to inform that to Macarena Moya, and we are going to assure that you are going to have a bus or a van that is going to pick you up. But for that, we need you to send to us the plan de viaje and inform Macarena Moya. Let me see.
Do you need me to help write the number on the screen, Camila?
Wait a little, I'm writing down the number.
Okay.
Macarena. 6, 8, 2, 4, 6, 4. Okay. So, no.
I will go ahead and write it on the screen.
Oh, okay. That's nice. I like it.
I didn't know.
Well, Macarena Moya, Macarena Moya has also WhatsApp, so she's going to be very aware of your arrival. And if you have any problem, just as I said before, please let her know, because she's going to be that Sunday waiting if you need something. She's going to let know our monitors. So please don't be afraid and ask her for help.
Camila, the students that don't know what WhatsApp is, could you maybe explain it to them?
WhatsApp?
Yeah.
Oh, WhatsApp service is a program that we use a lot here in Chile. I'm going to maybe let me see. WhatsApp is an application, a cell phone application, and if you download to your cell phone and you add Macarena Moya to your contacts, she will appear in WhatsApp, and you can write directly to Macarena Moya. I'm looking for now to the website of WhatsApp. Maybe you already know the service.
I think that students could go ahead and research WhatsApp if they have any questions with the link that you provided. I do know that some other students, if they don't use WhatsApp, they use Viber. So as long as both you and the person you're trying to communicate with both have this app and are connected, if you're connected to the internet and they're connected to their regular cell phone service back in the U.S., you guys can text and make phone calls like normal. So that's definitely a good option to stay connected with your loved ones back home.
Yes, what we are most interested in is that the students can contact Macarena directly if something happens to you.
Camila,
also,
I have a question from a student. One of my students is asking, is everyone going to leave from the airport at the same time, or will we leave as soon after we arrive?
As you are a lot of students, what we are going to do is wait for every one of you. So the two PUCV monitors are going to be from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. waiting for all the students, and after that a bus is going to come from the airport to here, to PUCV Casa Central, where your host families are going to be waiting for you. In the case that your plane arrives later, 2 p.m., it's not a problem because first you have to let us know, and we are going to be sure that a bus is going to pick you up along with a monitor who is going to wait for you. That's the importance of you letting us know where are you going to arrive. But I ask you a lot of patience, but be calm, because we are going to be sure that you're going to be here in Valparaíso with a transport service. So everything is going to be okay, either way that you arrive after the hour or too late or your flight got delayed. We're going to do our best to pick you up and bring you here to Valparaíso, and also let you know your host family that you're going to be late, for instance.
Great. Well, thank you for that question. If any other students have a question, you can go ahead and, like I mentioned, raise your hand or write in the question box. I think we do have another one. Let me check.
That's nice.
I have another question. This question is, I'm arriving a few days earlier and plan on arriving at PUCV on my own. Is that okay?
I think that in the case of the students who come to participate in a special program, I have the case of Keynes, for instance, that she is arriving early. In that case, our special program is in charge of go to the airport and pick her up. But for the students who are coming for a semester, or only official arrival date is Sunday 22. In the case that the students arrive early, we can make some arrangements to a person who is going to pick the student, a person who we know very well, but the student is going to have to pay that service if he arrives early that Sunday 22. If the students arrive, for instance, on Monday 23rd, because he already had planned to arrive on Sunday 22, but his plane got delayed, in that case it's not a problem. It's not going to be charged. The student, we are going to pick up the student to the airport without any charge, but that is only possible because we knew that the students were planning to arrive in Valparaíso on Sunday 22. But early than Sunday 22, that will have a charge.
Okay,
I
great.
don't know if I...
So if you plan on arriving on your own to PUCV, please email Camila with your updated arrival information so that she can provide you information on where they should meet you. Excuse me. We do have another question.
Important thing.
Oh, sure.
No, another important thing to let the students know is that Macarena Moya and we are going to keep working January and February, so we are going to be aware of any questions that the students may have, because currently now the university is closed because we are in vacations, but the international programs keep working. So we are aware and we are available to solve any questions through email, of course, also.
Okay, that's great to know. We do have some more student questions. A student would like to know what the weather will be like when they arrive.
Currently we are in the middle of summer, So commonly in the morning it's very cold. Maybe it's a little cloudy with a lot of clouds, but after 2 p.m. the sun comes up and you have a lot of it's very hot. And maybe at 9 p.m. the weather starts to get more cold. But as we are in summer, you are not going to need a jacket, a huge jacket maybe. Maybe in the middle of May, Valparaíso starts to get really cold because as we live next to the sea, the weather is really different from Santiago. In Santiago, you are going, the weather is really hot all year long, but in Valparaíso, as I told you before, as we are close to the sea, tends to be more cold. And it's really colder at the end of June and July. It's really, really cold. We do not have a lot of rain, but be sure to have a good jacket, especially for July, and especially if you want to travel to the south, that is really cold.
Okay, great. And we do have some more. Another student would like to know what is the despedida de los alumnos internacionales, and is there a week-long break during the semester?
He's referring to the despedida, like the farewell?
Yes.
Oh.
I mean, I think so.
Commonly the farewell of the international students take place in the end of June. And we have a ceremony where we heard testimonies or experience of students who talked to everyone, told how was the experience here in Valparaíso. We gave them also present, but it is commonly focused on one day where we say goodbye to the students. Commonly, most of the students, when they end their classes, their PIAE classes and also the regular classes there, tend to leave the Valparaíso and start doing some traveling. So, but at the end of June, we have one day dedicated to the farewell ceremony of the students.
Okay.
It's just one day.
And this same student asked if there's a week-long break during the semester. And you can go ahead and answer that, but I also want to remind students that the vacation dates are listed in your IIS, so you can go ahead and check out those dates as well.
Exactly. Can you repeat the question? I didn't hear it well.
The student is wondering if there's a week-long break during the semester.
Oh, a week long. Yes, as you told, the information is in the IIS, but yes, after the end of the semester, that, let me see to confirm the dates. Oh, give me a minute. Also, the official calendar is in the student's guide. If the
okay, great. So why don't you guys
more information? But I have the information here, and the vacation, the winter vacation, as we call it, starts in Monday, 13th of July, till Friday, 24th of July. That is the dates of vacations. But they can check it in the student's guide. It's waiting down there.
Great. I have a few more questions. This is great, guys. Keep on talking.
I'm glad to.
A student wants to know if the mentors are individual students, so each student is assigned an individual mentor, or if the mentors are going to be in groups, or the PUCV monitors, as you call them.
Oh, the mentors. Well, our PUCV monitors are mainly one of the most important things that we have in the orientation, because one monitor is going to be in charge of a group of students, but we make the division of the students, the groups, long before the orientation week starts. So we first, in February, we are going to reunite with all the monitors and we give the names of the student that he is going to receive. In the case of ISEP students, commonly we have students who speak in English, so it's going to be easier for those students who are still struggling with the language. But this monitor is going to speak in English if they have doubts, and this girl or boy, we are deciding right now, we are not sure yet, is going to be kind of the first friend that they are going to have. He will be available to any questions that the student may have. For instance, the student can ask how I get to this place, which micro or bus. The buses that we have in Valparaíso are called micro. Which micro can I take? Maybe which is the best hour where I can have some meals? Which are the places here in PUCV where I can eat? Cheap places where to eat, but being good also. These students, we made the selection long before the students arrived, maybe in November, December. We have a lot of interview with them. But the common thing between PUCV monitors is that they are students, current students of PUCV, and they are very glad to help. So be sure to be in contact with them, because ISEP students are going to have one, but also other kind of students are going to have monitors. So they're going to meet around 15 to 20 PUCV monitors, and the students tend to hang out with them after the orientation week. That's why we call the first friend of the students. And as I told you, they're very glad to help. We make a really good selection here with the students. So be sure that you are going to meet a lot of nice students, PUCV monitors.
Well, great. The next question we have is a student that is a little nervous about her Spanish being rusty or not up to par. She's an exchange student, and she's wondering if there's a way for her to be able to take some of the language courses that are only offered for direct students, and if the professors are patient while students get adjusted to taking classes only in Spanish. So I can answer the first part. We don't usually have the ability for students to mix exchange and direct options through ISEP, but I'm not sure if PUCV would have any options. So I'm going to go ahead and let Camila answer the rest of the question, and also let us know what the professors are like for students that are adapting.
Okay, well, my first message to that students is easy. Don't worry, because we have received a lot of students in PUCV where maybe in Chile we're very famous nationally because we receive a lot of international students. So not only our professors are accustomed to be with international students, also our students. So in the first place, easy because everything is going to be fine. We have had some students, for instance, students who arrived last semester, whose name was Trevor Aldrich, and he couldn't be able to speak any word in Spanish. But after his semester at PUCV, he spoke really fluently, and it was really sure about his level of Spanish. So be sure that after one month here in Chile, with the total immersion of Spanish, you're going to be speaking really, really well. So in that subject, please be calm, because your Spanish skills are going to improve as you may never suspect. And now talking about Spanish in classes, as I told you, PUCV is really accustomed to receive international students. In PUCV regular classes, for example, engineering, arts, humanities, biology, and other classes, commonly professors as they are accustomed to receive students, they are always available to give some help to the students. Fortunately, we have not had cases in which the professor is he denied he don't want to help a student. And that is not something that what I'm trying to say is that commonly international students, they're really good students. The students that we also receive from ISEP, they're really good students. So professors really liked about that, about the international students. So they're really glad to help the students. And be sure that if the students don't go to classes anytime, don't do the test, don't assist to workshops, be sure that your professor is going to be really how can I say, he's not going to be available to help you. But if you show interest at the beginning of the classes, in the middle of the classes, you participate in classes, although you know that maybe your Spanish level is not very good, if your professor sees that, be sure that he's going to help, he or she is going to help you always. And if you are really struggling with one class, because as we know, we have a lot of types of professor. If you're struggling with one class, you always can come to my office and we can talk about it. So, and also the other part of the question, from those students who come from ISEP Direct, the PIE classes, the professors are really accustomed to receive students. We have just classes exclusive for international students, so they know how to be with them, how to help you with some with workshops, with how to help you with tests. So my message will be that you stay calm, because either way, be it at PUCB regular classes, PIE courses, we always are going to find you a solution. Okay. Well, the thing is that we are not trying to make the students feel like a child, you know, because this is a university, as maybe will be in your countries also. But we're always gladly to help students who participate in class, who are interested. So be calm, because we are here to help you. And second, your Spanish level is going to improve, especially after the first month that you are here.
Okay. Great. We have actually a lot more questions, so we're going to keep going. The next question is, before we move on, sorry, I just wanted to mention that the international office at PUCB is really one of the best offices that I work at. They're very responsive, they're really helpful to students, and Valparaíso is our most popular destination in Latin America for ISEP. So don't be nervous and don't be worried. It's going to be great and you're going to have a phenomenal experience. If you have any questions, concerns, or you find yourself struggling, Camila and Carolina are both there to help you, and they're both excellent. I had the pleasure of meeting Camila when she was here for the ISEP conference, and she's really welcoming and friendly, so don't be shy. The next question that we have is, what are some good presents for our host families? So as I mentioned, when I was studying abroad, I would try to bring things. So I was from Ohio, so I would bring like Buckeye candies or something that was native to Ohio. I've also brought, you know, like a decorative like plate, or I also brought, I think, a blanket for my host family. Camila, do you have any suggestions? I know that some students, you know, bring books about their home state, so like a book about Wisconsin, or maybe something from your hometown. Camila, do you have any suggestions?
I will say the same that you said at the last, Rachel. You can bring something from your hometown. That will be the best idea, something decorative maybe. Some students have brought music also from their hometown. But above all, I would like to say that here in Chile and commonly in Latin America, the families are really close to the students. So what I think that the families hopes that the student bring is mostly their joy, maybe their close. They have, if the students is really close to the family, is really open, has a good treatment. Be sure that your family is going to love you, because maybe you have seen some movies representing some Latin American families that we are really loud, that we like to, the parents tend to really be into the life of the students. They tend to be really close with the whole family. Here in Latin America, we really love to eat together, as I saw in the sheets in the presentation. Be sure that your best gift to your host family is going to be your attitude.
Yes,
If
I
you
agree.
present exactly, so I will say that don't worry a lot about the gift. But if the first date you're really open to talk with them, to hear them, to share a meal with them, they're going to love you. If you share one Saturday with your family, they're going to miss you after that. They're going to ask you more time. Maybe they're going to ask you to be with them the whole weekend. Obviously, we know that that is not possible. You are free to do whatever you want. But what I would like to say is share time with your family. That is the best gift that you could give to them.
And then just going off what Camila said, I had a really good relationship, and I still do, with my host family in Ecuador. I would spend a lot of time with them. I would hang out with them. They really made it an important part of my experience to integrate me into the family. So I would accompany them, to weddings or family events. I would be there when they would have 20 relatives over for Sunday lunch.
Exactly.
I would be there for anniversaries and parties, and they would roll up the rugs and push the couches out of the way, and everybody would start dancing. If you still need some more ideas for gifts when you arrive, I just thought of a few more things. My host family always asks me to cook for them American meals. So maybe a recipe book that kind of has, U.S. recipes, or if you have like a cookbook that's about, foods that are from your hometown or your home state, that would also be a good idea.
Exactly.
My host family
Yes.
loved 3 things that I would make them: banana bread, lasagna and garlic bread, and chocolate chip cookies. They loved
Exactly.
chocolate chip cookies so much that they would ask me to bring down chocolate chip cookies when I would travel. So I would pack up my suitcase with, tins of chocolate chip cookies. So that's another option too. If you still need more ideas, you can go ahead and send me an email, but we're going to move on to the next question. The next question is ISEP planning any trips for us? And for ISEP programs, for our direct and our exchange programs, we do not plan trips for students. We think that part of your experience as a study abroad student is learning how to travel in the country where you're going to be and in your region. Our only programs that do planning of trips for students is our GEP programs, and those are in Costa Rica and Ghana. I do want to mention that I studied abroad in Argentina, but while I was in Argentina, I took a 24-hour bus to Santiago, and then I took another bus to Valparaíso. So the bus system in Chile and really all of South America is really great. Long bus rides aren't so bad when you have coche cama, which is kind of like first class of buses, and you can recline, and there's something for your feet to go on. And there's kind of like a flight attendant for the buses, and they bring you snacks and meals, and you can watch really bad American movies and 80s music videos that are playing on the bus. Maybe they have better movies from when I was there, but the ability to travel within the region is really quite easy. And if you need any help, I know that at least in Argentina there were student-friendly travel agents. But, for me, my Lonely Planet was my Bible, and I took it everywhere with me, so I would highly recommend getting a Lonely Planet book or even a different kind of travel book and taking that with you and going from there. So I hope that answers your question. The next question is a student that is a little concerned about obtaining their visa. They are worried that they won't obtain their visa before they leave. And I think that for questions about your visa, that you should probably send Camila and I an email. That might be easier. Camila, do you have any suggestions on this at the time, or would it be easier for them to send us an email?
Well, I would like to say that to the students and the other one that are struggling maybe with their visas, to be calm, because every problem has a solution regarding to that issue. Having encountered time, I would like to say to the student that to send me an email, because in some cases they are very particular. So write to me, and I will answer you back about the visa issues. But please make sure that you have done everything possible to get your visa first in the U.S. Because I'm sure that every university tell the same to their students, but the main difference is that when you get in the U.S., the process of getting the visa is a lot easier than here. And that's because when you arrive to Valparaíso without the student visa, first you have to gather a lot of documents. Later you have to go to an appointment, a meeting with with our migration department, and later you will have to wait for the visa around 4 to 5 months to get it. So and suddenly some students, they have to leave the country before they have the visa. So the process here in Chile is more complex. We can do it, but it's more complex than doing the process in the US. So my opinion, our opinion at PUCB is please do as far as you can to get a visa in the US. But if you couldn't get the visa, because I imagine that you try your best, be calm, because we are going to help you here. That is one of the best things that we have here at PIE and our international office, is that we are not going to let you alone in this. We're going to be with you in the process, be it getting a visa, be it asking again another meeting with Departamento de Extranjería. Maybe your passport said something wrong, maybe your visa has a wrong number. We are going to be with you in all the process, and we are going to let you know what to do and which place to go, so you are not going to be alone.
Great.
That's it.
I have one more question up in line. So everyone, if you have any more questions after this one, please type them to me so that I can see them. The next question that we have is a student who is wondering, once they arrive in Valparaíso, do they get more information on orientation and registration? This student is a little nervous on where to go and what they need to do once they arrive.
Okay, well, we're going to send an email, an informative email, maybe at the beginning of February, of the first 2 weeks of February. Commonly, we used to send this email telling you the days and the hour that you have to be here a week before the orientation. But now we have made some changes according to some suggestions that ISEP and other agencies have told to us. And we're going to send that email maybe the first 2 weeks of February, indicating you where you have to be, the schedule of all the week. But be sure that you are going to know that. So easy, because we are working on that. And maybe if you need the information right away, you are too nervous, don't worry, send to me the question to my email and I'm going to answer to you. But stay calm, because we're going to send more information regarding the schedule of the week, the registration of the courses, probably the first 2 weeks of February.
Great. Well, if nobody else has any questions, I want to thank everybody for coming. I hope that you guys are getting really excited. Chile is beautiful. Latin America so far is my favorite region. If you have any questions or concerns or just want to check in, you guys all have my email address. Again, thank you for coming. Camila, thank you for attending and for your very detailed responses. Did you have anything that you wanted to share with the students before we finish up?
Of course, the only thing that I would like to say to the students is that we are really glad to receive you guys. So be sure to bring back your best attitude, because you're going to have a great time in Chile, a great time. So see you then.
Okay, well, great. Thank you so much, everyone. And again, thank you, Camila. Have a great day.
Okay, bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.